Namaste, and welcome to Devi Mandir in Denver, Colorado. I'm Yamajit, and I'm so glad that you could join me this evening for day 3 of our Navaratri celebration. And our puja and meditation will include a recitation and chanting of chapter 3 of the Devi Gita, the Song of the Goddess. We will also honor the third of the great wisdom, the Mahavidya goddesses, the goddess Tripura Sundari. And I'll say a little bit about her right now. So Tripura Sundari, also known as Sudashi, which means 16 years old, is the Divine Mother in the form of a young girl. And she very much represents our ability to see the divine in all of our surroundings. She also has a very strong association with the Sri Yantra, which is a nice overall spiritual diagram for the Divine Mother. Another little comment that I wanted to make before we got started is in our current chapter, we're going to be introduced to the situation of the demon Taraka and the necessity for the Divine Mother to incarnate again in earthly form. And I wanted to say something about the 2 previous days' chapters and the fact that in chapter 1 we had both Shiva and Vishnu becoming overwhelmed by by their pride, by their egos. And then in chapter 2, the story of Sati, how Shiva was in this tremendous state of mourning, really for the physical shell of Sati. And this was despite the fact that the gods are still having conversations with the Divine Mother in spirit. And that's one of the things I find is very empowering about these stories, is that the gods themselves are subject to the same flaws as we humans, especially in terms of dualistic or ego-centered issues getting in our way of recognizing the truth. And they serve as really as examples of how we can overcome those blockages and grow. So when I read our chapter, I'm actually going to be using a different translation. The Song of the Goddess, the Devi Gita, Spiritual Counsel of the Great Goddess. This was translated by C. Mackenzie Brown. And chapter 3 of the Devi Gita is actually chapter 1 in this book. The Sarasvati translation that we've been using is actually the more complete version that's available. However, I like this translation a lot. The English translation is more concise in nature. And a few years ago, the first time I ever taught a Devi Gita class, this was the translation I used. So this one's very much an old friend. One other announcement I'll make, and Cogito, namaste, and anybody else who'd like to say hello, please say a quick hello on the chat. But I got an email yesterday from one of our viewers, and he was asking for the mantras that we're using for the 10 Mahavidya goddesses. And so I am going to send those out to you. However, I'd like to open it up to everybody else. Anybody else who would be interested in the mantras to the Dasha Mahavidyas, the 10 great wisdoms, send me an email via my channel, and I'll be happy to get that off to you. So namaste. Welcome and Jai Mata Di. The Song of the Goddess, Chapter 3. The appearance of the great goddess before the mountain king Himalaya and the gods. So King Janamedaya spoke. You said earlier that the supreme lustrous power manifested itself on the crest of the Himalaya, the mountain lord. This you mentioned only in passing. Now explain to me in full detail. What thoughtful person would ever tire of drinking the nectarine tales of Shakti? Death comes even to those who drink divine ambrosia, but not the one who hears this act of hers. And the sage Vyasa spoke. You are blessed and completely fulfilled. You have been taught by those of great heart, and you are fortunate, for you possess true devotion to the goddess. Hear, O king, this ancient tale. When the body of Sati was consumed by flames, the bewildered Shiva wandered about, falling here and there, motionless on the ground. He was unaware of the manifest world, his mind being fully absorbed. Regaining his self-composure, he passed time contemplating the true form of the goddess. Meanwhile, the three-tiered universe, with all that is mobile and immobile, lost its suspicious charm, when the entire world with its ocean, continents and mountains were bereft of energy. Joy shriveled up in the heart of each and every being. All peoples were despondent, their care-worn spirits exhausted. Then, ever drowning in a sea of misery, they were consumed by disease. The planets retrogressed ominously. Fortunes of the gods declined. Kings too suffered misfortune due to material and spiritual forces set in motion by the death of Sati. Now at that time rose the great demon Taraka. Taraka meaning duality. Also, some translations say arrogance. The fiend became master of the three-tiered universe after procuring from Brahma this boon. Only a legitimate son of Shiva shall be your slayer. With this death thus fixed by Brahma, the great demon, realizing no lawful son of Shiva existed, roared and rejoiced. And all the gods, attacked by Taraka and driven from their own homes, lived in a state of persistent anxiety due to the absence of any legitimate son of Lord Shiva. And the gods thought, Shiva has no wife. How shall he engender a son? How can we prosper deprived of good fortune? And Vyasa continues, thus afflicted with worry, the gods journeyed to Vishnu's heaven. Taking counsel with him in private, he then explained their proper recourse. And Vishnu spoke. Why are you all worried? For the auspicious goddess is a wish-fulfilling tree. Dwelling in her jewel island paradise as the ruler of the universe, she is ever attentive. She neglects us now only because of our misbehavior. Such chastisement by the world mother is simply for her own instruction. As a mother feels no lack of compassion, whether indulging or chastising her child, so the world mother feels when she is overseeing our virtues and our vices. A son transgresses the limits of proper conduct at every step. Who in the world forgives him except his mother? Therefore, go for the refuge to that supreme mother without delay. With sincere heart, she will accomplish what you want. And the sage Vyasa continued. Thus, enjoying all the gods, and accompanied by his wife, the great Vishnu, as chief of the gods, set forth at once with his fellow lords. He came to the rocky crag Himalaya, lord of the mountains, and all the gods commenced the preliminary acts of worship. They then performed the mother's sacrifice, knowing well her ceremonial rites. All the gods hastened to perform her ritual observances, including the third day rites, O king. Some of the gods were fully absorbed in meditation. Others were focused on her name. Some concentrated on her hymn, while others were intent on reciting her names, like we did yesterday. Some were devoted to chanting mantras or practicing severe austerities. Some were absorbed in the mental sacrifices of others, installed mystic powers in their bodies. Unwearied, they worshipped the supreme Shakti with the mantra known as the Mahabija, the mantra Hrim. Many years thus passed away, O Janamejaya. Suddenly, on the 9th lunar day in the month of Chaitra, on a Friday, which just happens to be the 9th day and night of Navaratri in the spring, thus lustrous power revealed in scripture appeared before the gods. Praised on all sides by the 4 Vedas incarnate, it blazed like 10 million suns, yet soothed like 10 million moons. Flashing like 10 million streaks of lightning tinged with red, that supreme lustrous power shone forth, uncompassed, above, across, and in the middle. Without beginning or end, it had no body, no hands, no other limbs, nor did it have a woman's form or a man's form, nor the two combined. The dazzling brilliance blinded the eyes of the gods, O king, and again their vision returned. The gods beheld that light appearing now in the form of a woman, charming and delightful. She was exceedingly beautiful of limb, a maiden in the freshness of youth, Tripura Sundari. Her full upraised breasts put to shame the swelling buds of the lotus. Her girdle and anklets jingled with clusters of tinkling bells. She was adorned with a necklace, armlets, and bracelets of gold, her throat resplendent with a chain of priceless gems. The locks on her cheeks shimmered like black bees swarming on delicate ketika blooms. An exquisite line down on her midriff enhanced the charm of her shapely hips. She was chewing spiced betel nuts with bits of mint and camphor. Pendant earrings of shining gold graced her lotus face. Above long eyebrows, her forehead shone with an image of the crescent moon. Her eyes were red lotus petals. Her nose dignified her lips like nectar. Her teeth resembled buds of the white jasmine. A string of pearls adorned her neck. Her crescent-shaped crown sparkled with jewels, and she was bedecked with ornaments shining like new moons. A garland of jasmine flowers brightened her luxuriant hair. Her forehead sported a saffron dot, while her 3 eyes reflected her playful mood. 3-eyed and 4-armed, she held a noose and a goad while gesturing her benevolence and assurance of safety. She was dressed in red and appeared lustrous like blooms of the pomegranate tree. Richly adorned in garments all suited for love, she was worshipped by all the gods, satisfying all desires. She is the mother of all and the deluder and enchanter of all. The mother's kindly face, so gracious, displayed a tender smile on the lotus mouth. This embodiment of unfeigned compassion the gods beheld in their presence. Seeing her, the embodiment of compassion, the entire host of gods bowed low, unable to speak, choking on tears of silence, struggling to regain their composure, their necks bending in devotion, their eyes brimming with tears of loving joy. They glorified the World Mother with hymns. And the gods spoke. Hail to the goddess, to the great goddess, to the auspicious one, always hail. Hail to nature, to the prosperous one. We humble ourselves attentively before her. To her, the color of fire, blazing like the sun, with ascetic powers, and who is worshipped for attaining the fruits of action. To her, the goddess Durga, I go for refuge. Hail to that raft of swift crossing. The gods created the goddess speech, whom animals of all sorts speak. This speech is pleasing to us, this cow yielding food and strength. She is well praised, may she come to us. To Kalaratri by Brahma, to Vaishnavi, the mother of Skanda, to Sarasvati, to Aditi, to daughter of Daksha, we bow to the pure, auspicious one. We know you as Mahalakshmi. We meditate on you as the Shakti of all. May the goddess inspire that knowledge and meditation of ours. Hail to her in the form of the cosmic body. Hail to her in the form of the cosmic soul. Hail to her in the unmanifest state. Hail to her in the forms of glorious Brahman. Through her power of ignorance, she sows herself to the world like a rope, appearing as a serpent, wreath, and the like. Though her power and knowledge, she dissolves the world back into herself. We glorify her, ruler of the universe. We glorify her, whose essence is pure consciousness, represented by the word Tat. While whose nature is undiminished bliss, it is she whom the Vedas refer as their goal. Transcending the five sheaths, witnessing of the three states of consciousness, she is also the essence of the individual soul, represented by the word Tvam. Hail to her in the form of the syllable Om. Hail to her embodied in the syllable Hrim. To her composed of unmanifest mantras. She is, to you, the compassionate goddess. Hail. Hail. And the sage Vyasa continues. Thus praised by the gods, she who dwells in the jewel island then answered their sweet joyous tones of the cuckoo. The blessed goddess spoke. O wise gods, explain the reason that brings you together here. I am ever the bestower of boons, a wish-yielding tree to devotees. You shine with devotion, so why are you anxious when I stand nearby? I rescue my devotees from the troubled ocean of samsara. I know this promise of mine to be sincere, O best of gods. And Vyasa continued, hearing these words infused with loving joy, the gods were satisfied in their hearts. Freed from fear, the immortals described their own ordeal, O king. And the gods spoke. Nothing here in the three worlds is unknown to you. You are omnipotent, the incarnate witness of all, O supreme ruler. The demon thief Taraka torments us day and night. His death shall come only at the hands of Shiva's son. So as Brahma arranged, O auspicious one. But you know, great ruler Shiva has no wife. What can ignorant beings reveal to one who is omnipotent? Such is our situation in brief. You can infer the rest, O mother. May we always show unswerving devotion to your lotus feet. Thus, our foremost wish, we also pray that you will assume an earthly body." And Vyasa continued. The supreme ruler listened to these words of theirs and gave reply. And the goddess spoke. "My potency, who is Gauri, the shining one, who will be born to Himalaya. She will be given in marriage to Shiva and will furnish what you need. You shall be devoted to my lotus feet due to your earnest desire. Himalaya, the mountain king, moved by intense devotion, truly worships me in his heart. Thus I consider it a pleasure to take birth in his house." Hearing her exceedingly kind words, King Himalaya, on his part, replied to the great sovereign queen, his eyes and throat congested with tears. "O greatly ennoble whomever you wish to favor, for who am I, so dull and motionless compared to you, who embody the infinite being and consciousness? That I should become your father in the course of hundreds of births is astonishing, O faultless one. Ever with all the merits gained by performing horse sacrifices and other religious penance, now I shall be renowned, for all the world will think the world mother has become the daughter of that Himalaya, wonder of wonders, how blessed and fortunate is he. She whose womb contains 10 million worlds has been born as a daughter whom on earth is his equal. I know what not heavenly realm has been prepared for my ancestors to rest in, so blessed are they who have one such as myself born in their family. As you already granted me one favor, though through your loving compassion, I would also be pleased. Describe for me your true nature as explained in all the Upanishads, and further describe the paths of both yoga and the knowledge combined with devotion as approved by scripture. Explain these, Supreme Ruler, so that I may become one with you." And that's going to be the essence of the rest of our story for the remaining 6 days. Hearing these words of Himalaya, and with her lotus face kindly disposed, the mother undertook to reveal the mystic teachings hidden in scripture. Jema. 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 Om. Pavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastam Gatopiva Yashmare Pandarikaksham Sabya Byanta Sushi. Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Jai Ganesha. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Jai Guru. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Ang Tripura Devi Chavidmaye Klim Kameshvarye Dimai Sao Tenokline Prachodayat. Jema Tripura Sundari. Om. 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 Jema. So I invite you to sit in a comfortable position, closing your eyes and breathing deeply. First, letting go of the concerns of the day and allowing your consciousness to focus on this present moment. And I invite you to think of that issue in your life that is ready for transformation or healing at this time. Knowing that this devotion to the Divine Mother will aid in its resolution. So breathe deeply. Become more and more relaxed with each breath. And let the words of our mantras and the verses from our chapter, as they are chanted, let their energies guide your consciousness to where it needs to be at this moment. Reem, reem, reem. Om Aing Klim Sao. 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 Om Nyanamade Jaya Vacha Dara Dara Dris Samula Vyasit Parama Yaduktam Bhavata Purvam Vistarat Tavadasyavame Kovirajyata Matimam Pribhachakta Katamritam Sudam Tu Pibatam Vrutya Sanaita Churvato Bhave Vyasavacha Tanyosi Krityosi Siksitosi Mahatmabi Bhayagvanasye Videvyam Nirvaya Bhaktirastete Snonurajan Purvavitam Satidei Gibarjite Baranta Shivastu Baramakhyachidase Sirobhavat Prapanchamanarahita Samdigata Manasa Dayam Divisputam Tukalam Ninyesa Amatavan Saubhagaryahitam Jatam Trilokyam Sacharcharam Saktinam Jagat Sarvam Sabhidvepam Sapavatam Anda Shukatam Yatta Sarvasyam Hidayantare Udisyana Sarvalok Chinta Jachara Chetasya Sada Dukhoda Daru Magna Roga Grastada Bhavan Grahanam Devatanam Cha Vapatinya Vatanam Adhi Bhutava Daivanam Satya Bhavam Napavavan Atashmineva Kale Tutarakayo Mahashura Brahmadatta Varodatyo Bhavat Trilokya Yaka Shiva Asusatoya Putra Tasti Sate Hanta Bhavisyate Iti Kalata Mritya Sadeva Deve Hastura Shiva Surastuta Bhava Jagare Chananda Cha Tena Kopadruta Sarve Sarvasnat Prachuta Sura Shiva Asura Stuta Bhava Vachintama Purdaradyam Nagana Sankasayati Katam Tasuta Sambhava Asmakam Bhagayanam Nam Manam katam karyam bhavisyate iti chinnatrua sarva jagamukva kunat mandale sasmam surhare mekante sa kopayam jagadaha kutachintara tura sarve kimakalam bhadruma shiva jagate bhuvaneshvasani manvid padviv sashini sama kamnaya devata rupeksati nanyata sikshavayam jagamantra kritas shmachik sanyaya cha ilane tadane matona koryam yoto bhakte tadvadeva jaganim toryantre guna doseo apardo bhavayatva tayanyasa pade pade kopara sate loka kevalam mantram vina tashma duyam parabam tam sarnam yatama chirmam Nivajayak Chitavrita Savakaryam Vidasiti Iti Dasya Suran Savan Mahavishnu Svajaya Samyuto Nijagamastu Devya Sahasuradipa Agjagama Mahisalam Himvanam Nagadipam Abhavam Cha Sura Sarve Purakaran Karmena Abhaya Javidananya Abhaya Jnanacha Chakire Troyad Vyatanu Astu Chakra Sarve Sura Nrapa Kichit Samida Santa Kesinama Paraya Kichit Sukta Paraya Kenchid Maparaya Notshuka Mantra Parayana Praha Kichit Kora Dighana Hatare Yaga Para Kichit Nasya Parayana Hirakaya Parashakte Pujam Chakra Tandirta Iryevam Bhuvanasani Kalo Ganjana Mejaya Akshasmachaya Mastyaya Navamayam Chaburgodin Purdo Bhuva Bhuva Purastanama Stutbotim Chakturcho Chakturdai Murvitam Bira Bustutam Koti Surya Praktikasham Chantra Koti Sudatalam Vidyo Kosamana Brahmarunam Taparamaha Naiva Kodvam Natrik Chana Madhye Parajagravat Adyantarhim Tato Nahastya Nagsamyutam na cha sirutpamatava na purukpamadhobiam ditya vidanam netranam tesma sinam hipate punascha daryalamba yavate dashun sura tadvat tateva surpena bhavatyam mahuram ativārame yangim kuraim nave vayuvanam udapina kuchadvan dvan divabhayokta kudamalam ratnat kinik kajasinam janjira mekhalam kanat kangadake yora graveya bisutim angar mahisam bina gala brandhava virajitam tanu ketka samara chanila bakarmam kulatam Nimam bambim basubagam Roma jivaya jitam Kapura Satya Lanmisra Tambula Puratanam Kanat Tanka Vivang Vadanam Bujam Asatami Shambhabim Bahala Latamaya Taburvam Ratara Vindyayan Munanasam Madhura Daram Kuda Kudmala Dantagam Mukta Ravirajitam Ratna Sambinik Muktam Chandra Kavatantanim Makalim Mala Malakes Patvirajitam Kasmira Bindutalam Netra Vilasinim Pasank Kusavara Bichaturbahum Trilunam Raktakshava Pradhanam Dadmi Kusma Parabam Sarvas Gravesadam Sarvevan Sritam Sarva Sampurakam Sarva Mantram Sarva Mohanim Prastada Simukhi Sambam Madhasmita Mukhabhujam Aivaya Jakaram Nuttim Dadsur Purtasura Tvistvatam Karamuktim Parama Siddham Sura Bhaktum Nasyankuvan Kinchid Sava Rudhalin Vasa Katanjit Samayam Lambya Bhaktya Chantaya Kandara Premaspura Nasaya Stutoivyo Jagadambikam Deva Vacha Namo Devi Mahavidye Shivaye Satatam Nama Nama Prikrate Badraye Niyata Prantasmatam Tvam Ginam Varam Tapasya Javalantim Vairochanim Karma Falasu Jutam Durgam Devim Saranam Prabadyam Ahe Soran Sayaturye Te Nama. Devim Vamacha Janaka Deva Stram Vish Rupa Pasovo Vandini Sato Mandres Mujam Durna Devno Kasmanupa Stotunayo Kalratrim Brahmastutam Vaishnavim Skandamatram Sarvavati Matitim Daksa Dodhit Dataram Nama Pavanam Shivam Mahalakshmi Echa Vidmahe Sarvasta Echa Dimai Tano Devi Prachodayat Namo Vrita Rupinyaye Nama Surya Tamyote Namo Vrita Rupinaye Nama Sri Brahma Murtaye Yadayana Yagadvati Rajus Paragadavita Yayane Lamam Nukte Nutram Bhuvaneshtarim Numastat Prada Laksyatam Chide Kara Sarupanim Anhadanarupam Tam Vedat Param Bhukmikam Pancha Setartam Tamas Titrai Shaktinim Numa Svadamakayanam Paragat Masvarupanim Nama Pranavarute Namo Himkara Mutaye Nana Matra Mikayete Karunye Namo Nama Iti Studatada Devi Man Nitparhivashani Prahavacha Madhusraya Mahakotina Nivachsvana Sri Devi Uvacha Vanadu Vadapakanyam Vadamala Sangata Varadaham Sada Bhakta Makal Pudruma Smricha Tristania Maheka Chinta Yoskamam Vatsalnyam Samudharame Madbhaktan Dukasara Sagatat Iti Pradidam Me Satyam Janita Vubhomata Nirbhaya Nirjara Rajna Chodukam Svakiyakam Devi Ucha Nayantam Kinchi Daptaya Bhatayase Jagatore Sarvanaya Sarvaksopanya Parameshvari Tarake Sendrupa Pinda Smod Divasnisam Shiva Galadavad Straya Numuto Brahma Shive Shiva Ganatu Navaste Jnanasetva Maheshvari Sarvanyana Purta Kim Vavatvam Param Rajana etadruseta proktam param tarkayam bika sarvada koma bhuje bhakti sarvatava nilachana pratyanyamidam muktayam aparam devatave Shivaya cha pradit sayat cha savakaram vidhasyate bhaktiryak ranambuje buyad makamadarat Himalayo himanasa mamupaste tibakatita Vyaso vacha Himalayo pe tattva utva tangraham vacha baspaya samrudkantako marjanam vacho bhavit mahantram tam kushe yas yangoras michasi Nochet vaham jada stita kvam tvam sachi svarupani sarvambanyam janamatas purvam mamanage avameda punye svara punayava tatsamanja adya Prapane krita jagad ganmata sutta bhavat Aho Himalaya cha dayosau bhagyavanite Yashito jatare santi Brahmadunam chakorta Shaiva vasyastuta jata kova Savat tatsamo bhuve yanyane samat putim kim satam sinematam param etadursanam svasya dyasyam samsyayate mad sa idam yatacha dhaname Kritpaya Puramura Maya Sarva Vedanasanam Chatva Drutpam Burhimatata Yogam Cha Bhakti Santam Yanam Chasturamatam Vadasya Paranche Samti Tvameva Hamyato Bhava Vyasa vacha iti tasya vacha stutva prasana mukhaba pankaja vaktumara batamba sarajyam stuti gunham Om Aim Klim Sao 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 Hrim Hrim allowing yourself to meditate in a place of stillness and silence, feeling the energy of the verses and the mantras, and opening yourself to the guidance, to the healing, and to the protection of the Divine Mother. I invite you now to take a deep and clearing breath, letting go of the meditation and coming back, becoming aware of your surroundings again. The sound of my voice, the sound of the bell, many other sounds in your personal environment. Slowly moving your fingers and toes, your hands and feet, arms and legs. Bringing the palms of your hands slowly to heart center and listening to our benedictions. Om Sava Mangala Mangalye Shiva Svada Sadike Saranye Triambake Devi Naryane Namostate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sana Vavatu Sana Bhunaktu Saviryam Kadavavahai Tejasvihava Nitamastu Madvid Vidyavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thanking the Divine Mother for her presence in your life. Giving gratitude to yourself for taking part in this practice. Slowly opening your eyes. Namaste. Jai Mata Di. Om Tat Sat Om. Jai Ganesha. Jai Guru. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Ma Devi. Jai Ma Tripura Sundari. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. So, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Blessings always. Bryce, thank you. And again, if you would like the mantras to the 10 Mahavidyas, or if you have any questions or comments or feedback or ideas, please feel free to email me at my channel. And I look forward to you joining me tomorrow night for day 4 and chapter 4 of the Devi Gita. Have a wonderful night. Namaste. Jai Ma. And thank you.